Well, good evening, everybody. Judges, thanks for coming. Mentors, thanks for all the help. And everybody, thanks for coming, being a part of this. It was really fun. We had a great experience. To introduce myself, I'm a Patrick Bergstresser. I'm an active duty naval officer, and I'm also the CEO and founder of Giglines. With me, I've got Eric Oliver. He's our CTO, and he's going to show you our MVP here in a few minutes. And I've also got Jessica McCarthy, who's our CFO, and she put together the business plan that you guys have in front of you. I've also got my development, design, team marketing, and operations. They're all in the back, and they did everything that you guys see up in front of you. So we can go to the next slide. So we are Giglines.com, and you're probably wondering what is a Gigline. Well, Gigline is something that's on my clothes right now, and it's something that's critical to uniform military inspection. Gigline is where the two fabrics of the shirt overlap and create this line, and then it lines up with my belt buckle and my zipper, and mine's a little off right now. But if I was in my uniform, it wouldn't be. All right, and when someone comes up to inspect a military a member, that's the first thing they see, and it sets the tone for the inspection. And so that's why we chose that was the best thing to start off with. Our motto is squared away every day. In the military, we're always trying to be squared away. So if we can jump into the problem. So the problem is we get inspected in the military a lot in our uniform. It has to look sharp. It has to be 100% correct. And the only way to currently prepare for an inspection is to pull out the actual regulation document that the military publishes out for individual services. And it's well over 100 pages in each service. There's no visual solution, and there's no easy way to learn the regulations other than talking to your friends or reading through the document. And if you don't pass that inspection, you lose your pass for the weekend, or you have to do push-ups or write a paper on why your uniform sucked. And so, you know, we want to help you avoid that. So before I get into the actual solution, I want to talk about some of the research we did. We found that everybody in the military has failed at least one inspection, the people that we surveyed, and I felt a couple more than that. We found that typically it takes about 10 to 30 minutes to prepare. That's 50% of our respondents. A little bit over that, a little bit under that. And sometimes for the more tougher inspections, it takes even longer than that. And lastly, before I jump too much into the monetization, we have a memorabilia monetization stream that we're going to talk about, personalized memorabilia. And we found that parents love their kids. And so if they could get on this website and buy personalized memorabilia of their son or daughter who's in the military, they would buy it. And these were the price points that we chose, $10 to $50. Two-thirds would spend $10 to $50, and one-third would spend over that. Next slide. So our market, 2.5 million active and reserve currently in the United States military, and that grows when we go into conflict, and it deflates when we're coming out of conflict. We've got 21.5 million registered vets, and that's registered with the VA. Not everybody registers with the VA, so there's potentially a lot more than that. And obviously everybody in here is probably familiar with someone in the military, so there's tens of millions of people who know somebody and or have someone in their family that they love that serves. So lastly, I'm going to get into the solution. So Eric's going to demo it for you, but essentially the uniform is built in real time, and it's a quick and easy way to do it, and the uniform is safe, so it's always available. Next slide. So the member comes to, they've got a uniform inspection, they go to Giglines, they do great, they tell their friends. We've got some ways with Facebook pulling their data and getting their family incorporated, and lastly they buy the memorabilia so we make money. Next slide. So Eric's going to demo the MVP here, and if we can go to the next slide, and get down to the video. Can you punch it? There you go. All right, one more time, and then click it.
They're going to do is log in with Facebook. We have an app that does this for us. And the point of that is for us to collect the family members, so when we go to market to people, that's what we go to. Right now, you see this is the account page they have to look at, their uniforms. They can build their own ribbon that they can save. So every time they get a new ribbon, they don't have to rebuild it every time. Once they get done saving the ribbon, this brings them actually to their uniform page. They can build a uniform with the ribbons that they've already selected. The medals that are on their little lapels, badges. So, it populates it in real time. And then once it's populated in real time, in order for them to pass their regulations, we actually tell them what the spacing is, what is required. Then they save the uniform, and then once they go back to their account page, their new uniform is already populated as the last result. And we're going to actually be using the Facebook login. We're going to create badges for them to be able to earn the more stuff that they do.
Thank you. So there's, what, 4? You want to talk about it? All right. Jessica's our CFO. But yeah, so obviously ads, we can do ads, but they don't generate as much unless you got serious traffic going on. And with dealing with a demographic of only 2.5 million that wouldn't want to be on main monetization stream. So we've also got affiliate programs. A lot of people in here, we talked to a few people who are in the military. When you get a new ribbon rack, rather than buying the actual slides and put the ribbons on, you can buy a pre-made rack. So we would have affiliate programs with websites where when you build your ribbon rack on here, and you need a new one, you just click buy, sends the data to that site, and we get a cut of that sale, 10 to 20% average affiliate returns. And lastly, the memorabilia. That's really the key. Because we have these people going online and putting all their data in, anytime they get a new award, they can, we can use Facebook to notify their family members that their son or daughter just got a new award, pulling that family member data from Facebook. We can send them a notification saying, hey, your son just got the Navy Achievement Medal. When they come onto the site, assuming they put that the fact that they got it on there, we can actually send them they can purchase for 25 bucks a framed certificate that actually has their name, what they earned, and why they earned it. And they can have that sent into the mail. And that particular ID was actually given to us by a mother who's got a son in Germany, and he just earned an Army Achievement Medal, and she didn't know why or what it was. So that idea came straight from somebody who could potentially be a customer. And lastly, with veterans, because there's so many of them, a lot of them love to relive their days in the military. And they could go on this site, put in legacy uniforms that are out of date that we could design for them, and they could use that as a way to socially connect with other vets, or maybe buy a shadow box, which is something I can describe later in detail, but essentially has everything you did in the military. And they can buy that online to commemorate their time in the service. So there's a lot of different, it really is the personalized memorabilia that it really isn't available as easily as it should be, and we can take care of that need.
Is there anybody out there doing this already?
No.
It's not very not what we're doing. Even selling memorabilia, it's not in a central location. It's not personalized.
What's your go-to-market strategy?
Our go-to-market, our rollout strategy. Well, we have Eric here who's great with developing an SEO. He's really going to bring awareness, make our website top with any key term searches, and then also Pat here is naval officer. He's able to get on any military base and hand out any information to those young.
Word of mouth is really strong in the military, significantly strong, and anybody who's been in knows that. So we're really going to rely on that. You know, anytime, particularly junior enlisted guys, when they're not actually doing what they're supposed to be doing during the day, they stand around in the DSLR. And if you've been in, you know, I mean, they do it a lot. And so anytime they find something that's cool, they talk about how cool it is. If they find something that sucks, they talk about how it sucks. So we think that's something we can definitely leverage, and they're on their phones all the time. So Facebook is really going to be heavily utilized for us, I think more significantly so than any other site.
Do you have a backup for Facebook? The reason I ask is, I assume you're talking about NCO, and it's an 86% decline on kids under 25 that are killing away from Facebook.
We're utilizing Google Plus as well as Twitter, as well as our own authentication system, so they can log in even if they don't have a social media account.
What about connecting it on social? Like, are you going to connect to Google Plus, connect to Twitter, connect to
Yeah,
that?
we're right now we're doing Google Plus and Facebook. But Twitter is on the back burner, but it's in the works.
Plans to do your own?
Yes.
Okay.
And with I'll kind of breeze through it, but at the very end of it, we're going to be rewarding people for going into it. So we're kind of going to have like our own social media thing that's inside of our website.
To get that current use.
I was just wondering, are you guys holding actual inventory, or are you using suppliers?
Any reason this would be unqualified by the military?
Not at all. If people do better on inspections, no one.
I think our product sells pride, and so when you have an officer that has a whole unit that is on it all the time, and then they're competing, I think really reestablishes that pride in the military.
And one of the things we didn't talk about is we have in the future plans to develop a mobile app. So if you can pull this out when you're at the inspection, whether you're an inspector and you're walking around with it in front of you, or you need to check something before you start, or you're getting ready right before you start and you got to check something, you think something's out of order, two guys look different, they need to look the same. Can we use that at that point, on the grinder at 6:30 in the morning?
And with the app,